I dig.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
we're
Hello.
live. Hello, America. This is our first Health Tech Talk Show of 2026.
Hooray!
And we have like
That's crazy.
probably in my early career, which I guess I'm not like super old. Scott Becker was like the biggest deal. I think he might still be, Scott. I don't know. It's unclear.
I mean,
He's just laughing.
I
He's just laughing.
I
He's
think
like,
it's
"Oh,
a big
shit."
deal.
Yeah, we were so excited. We're like, oh my gosh. And then even though we asked you to come on the show and you knew we were posting about you, we still like started texting each other that you liked our post. We were like, oh my gosh. We were like, wait a second.
know.
Obviously he likes the post. He's in it. So anyway, y'all, so we got Melissa here. Lisa just showed up from a fancy deal call or something. So she's currently reacclimating to the fact that she has to do the talk show. And then we have Scott Becker. So Scott, give us like a brief shout out, and then we're going to send you to the back to avoid liability.
No, it's fantastic. I can't even tell you, Melissa, Kat, Lisa, how thrilled I am to be with you guys. Thank you so much for having me on, and so excited to engage with you. I'm just sad I don't get to talk for the first 20 minutes with you guys. I get to listen, which is just as good. So no, we are so happy to be with you, and thank you so much for having me on. What a pleasure.
Well,
thank you.
I can say, Scott, like if you do decide that you would, I think you just need
You
to see how
need
this
to say
goes.
something. You just send us a message in the chat,
Yeah.
and we'll unmute you.
You can actually, I believe, add yourself on
you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
if you really got to say something, like
we just do it to save you.
We are here for you. There are no rules in the
We
talk
will
show.
behave. We'll behave great. We're going to go get a glass of water. We'll be back with you, but we'll keep everything here so I don't end up messing up. But no, we're so thrilled to be with you folks. I can't even tell you how thankful I am. So thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, Scott, we'll send you back. Go get your water. All right, Melissa. Oh, what is going on?
I mean, we've been off for a while. I almost forgot what I did for a living, but now we're back full swing. So I'm really excited.
I wish this is what we did for a living.
If this is what you do for a living, you are very poor.
You are poor. Job, the one that pays me, but I'm speaking like all of the things. As far as the talk show, we are going to be live at Vive. So taking sponsors for that now, guys, please reach out to me if interested. I can set you up, have a call, do all the things. Other than that, it's nice to see everybody's face. I'm glad that 2026 is off to a good start.
Yeah, here for it. All right, sending you back, Melissa. Lisa.
Kat McDavitt.
So Lisa
told
me.
My goodness.
Lisa. So also Max, who does our graphics, told me like they get really tired of doing these graphics for us because, I mean, look at them. Like, also, I thank you, Max, for making us so skinny. Here for it.
I know. Yeah.
But they often are like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, I'm out of images to steal on the internet. And oop.
Okay. Kat, you just ruined your own surprise.
Well, that's not a surprise. That's one of the biggest pieces of news that happened. Anyway, and so Max did say, it looks like it's National Bird Day or something today, which is why we are sitting next to birds on a branch. So
that's fine, Max.
Thanks,
don't worry
Max,
about it too much.
Yeah, keeping it real. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So biggest news of I guess it was actually last week, technically, is that we got Maduro first try.
Yeah. I mean, there's a really tricky concept right now being discussed about international law and what it is. And apparently the US was like, so if we have a law in our country, we can go and enforce that law anywhere in the world, which is an interesting interpretation. I'm not sure that everyone agrees with, but that is apparently how we have interpreted it. Because apparently there's like an APB out for this dude, and they're like, we're just gonna go in to another country and get him and bring him back so we can put him in jail in New York City with Luigi Mangione and like P. Diddy. I wish I were joking. I wish that statement had inaccuracies, but I don't think it does. And so in terms of the weirdest things that have happened in this year, that's probably one of them so far. It's only like day number 9, but like whatever. Yeah. Crazy.
So potential breaking of international and our own laws aside, okay, can we just talk about how badass our military is? Like, we're the best. We're the best.
We better be, given how much money we spend on military.
Yeah,
if we spent that much money and it wasn't the best, then I'd be real sad.
I do love all of the memes. And they were, when we went and bombed the nuclear sites alleged in Iran, we also had these great memes that were like, XYZ country is about to find out why the US doesn't have free healthcare. I'm like, that is really
That's
why.
actually, I wish you would put up that instead of this picture of Maduro and his like
In his
exit
sweatsuit.
gear or whatever,
Yeah.
because
I was
that
just
is
trying to be
funnier,
unbiased.
funnier and more real. Like
I was gonna
that's
do that, but then Lisa, I'm trying to just be like semi-neutral here. So I used the BBC, which isn't even American. Last time I checked, I don't know if we took that yet. Anyway, but
for now,
seriously, like serious law concerns, but also this guy was a bad guy, so whatever. We'll see. Also, I did look up because everybody's like, we want the liquid dinosaur. I honestly think Trump's just leaning into that because he's doing whatever. First of all, we are the largest consumer of oil on the planet, but we also produce the largest amount of oil on the planet. So
no, we do not. That's not even true.
No, we
Kat.
do.
I don't know
we do. Google
no,
it. Look
you're
it up.
getting your facts are not correct.
We are the largest producer. Well, look it up. Since we have been able to efficiently extract shale oil, we are the largest producer. Google it by a long shot.
But we don't have the largest reserves. Maybe that's what I meant.
Oh,
Venezuela has the largest reserve by far.
Yeah, they do.
But like a bunch of dinosaurs like got in a pile and died like right there, like more than anywhere else, like layers upon layers of dinosaurs. So many.
Well, I think there's some nuances we should look into there, but we are the largest producer by a significant margin. Any other country in the world, I think maybe
we have a lot of oil.
I think maybe we are conflating because we are not in oil and gas what oil reserves actually mean.
Weird.
But we also we use about exactly the amount we produce.
Yeah, but that's intentional. That's like it costs more to go produce another extra barrel. Like if there was a huge amount.
All I'm saying is it's not like
Melissa's trying to actually us while we fight about something neither of us are experts in, but let's just keep going.
We are the largest producer. I actually legitimately Googled this. Yeah. So and we do have massive untapped oil potential in the United States of America because we got Alaska last time I checked. So anyway, side story there. I think there's potentially more geopolitical stuff going on there than just we want the liquid dinosaur, but who the fuck am I? I'm just a girl on the internet. So, okay. Biggest probably healthcare news of the week, Lisa, would you say it's the chat GPT?
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I think it is. Having actually signed up and gone through the process of accessing my records with Be Well, which is on the next slide or next couple of slides. Wait, What did you do? You didn't take my slide. Kat.
I just downloaded this off our drive.
Oh, I thought you were sharing the live deck.
No, but I downloaded what was there. Just now, 5 minutes ago.
There. I'll share it later. It's very sad. It's a funny joke. A funny joke for me and you. Basically, there's a dude who runs the world's biggest sovereign wealth fund, but his podcast made him famous. And I was like, we need that. Apparently, the guy who runs the Norway Sovereign Health Fund has a podcast, which is like super, like he talks to all the famous business people. And now his sovereign wealth fund is doing badly. And I thought it was really funny because he is famous because of his podcast, like us. For obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Very sad.
Maybe,
sad.
We need to be a little bit more famous. That's unfortunate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to ChatGPT Health.
Our direct Google Drive share does not work, sadly for us.
Okay, got it. Great.
Yeah, so if you did that in the last 10 minutes, it is not.
I did.
Yeah, so ChatGPT Health, there's this seemed pretty cool. I stole this from Brendan Keeler on the internet. He did a pretty nice write-up with all of his thoughts and feelings, many of which are opinions, just to be clear for everybody. I think Brendan's super smart. He is not omnipotent when it comes to interoperability drama, but he has really good insights and kind of had a discussion on the winners and losers here, and then why our friends Be Well were selected and what it could mean for them. So it was really interesting stuff. There's some other drama here that I thought was hilarious. I think it's next, but just generally, Lisa, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, first of all, just shout out to Be Well for getting their names out there in a huge number of announcements in the last couple of months. What they're doing is, really trying to prove out we can be the safe sort of on-ramp, off-ramp for individual access requests. And they're willing to do what it takes to partner with some of the biggest, tech companies in the world. And, again, like shout out, this is not a huge company. Be Well, and to be fair, like Kristen, their entire team have been working really hard for a long time. They have a lot of credibility. They are, I would say, almost single-handedly running from an industry perspective, the CMS health tech ecosystem in terms of like donating their time and resources and just like organizational skills to a community project that's really being like driven by the pledging companies. They're like just jumping in there and getting stuff done. So like shout out to them. Like Be Well is a very small company to be partnering with such big tech companies, and that's a testament to the work that they've done. It is safe. Like they can safely mediate individual access requests. Of course, the devil's in the details, because most people don't understand that an individual access request that is shared to a tech company is not subject to the same, privacy, even and security requirements as other stuff in healthcare. And that's okay if you're somebody who believes that my health information should be free to do whatever I want to do with it, which might be share with OpenAI. Might be. The actual experience is pretty straightforward. I just did it last night with OpenAI and Be Well. And just like with anything, you can, minimize the amount of information you share. You can put a time limit on it. You can do all kinds of stuff. So the experience from a patient consumer perspective is pretty good. I don't know about OpenAI's solution yet. There are a bunch of companies trying to do what they're doing here, which is like better summarize and use people's own health records to create a better understanding of what's going on and share information better. I don't think I think is a very MVP on OpenAI's side, not on Be Well's side. That pathway is easy and clear. On OpenAI's side, a little bit of an MVP.
Yeah. I still think it's a big deal. Like that OpenAI is doing this. I think it's super cool. Also, props to Kristen. Brendan also kind of gave a high level on how this ties back into the ecosystem, the CMS ecosystem, which I thought was interesting, right? Because I think a lot of people see this in isolation, especially people who could give a shit about that initiative, like the general public. It is interesting how many companies have more publicly said that they're doing stuff. Obviously, that Google had their announcement earlier. As well, but not quite like this. A lot of it's like back end stuff. They're not being super public about it. It is really cool, I think, that all that stuff is focusing on patient access. I think there was initial thought that there would be more focus on treatment and getting data flowing that way. I don't know what's going on there. Like no one told me lately. But this is pretty cool for patients, I think. Patients are already dumping their shit into OpenAI. So at least they're getting like their real records. Like that's cool.
No, I don't think I do think it's a big deal. I just think that the actual solution. So the reason why it's a big deal is because of the scale and the awareness and the money and everything behind OpenAI. But there are a bunch of companies who have been behind the scenes working on this, as always, right? Then you get, chomped by the 800-pound gorilla. The actual solution they've created, though, is like so MVP from OpenAI side to be like, okay, I see what you're doing here. But that's how the game's played. That's how the cookie crumbles, right? Like,
super interesting. Super interesting. One other piece in Brendan's piece, Melissa, will you tag him so we know we talked about him in the show? Is that he did talk about winners and losers. Losers, he said, I think were basically any other on-ramp vendor who would have loved to have OpenAI as a customer. Obviously, like this could be a huge customer. I don't know Be Well's internal operations. It could be super scary for them operationally, or they could be totally ready for it or whatever. And he was saying that like, we don't totally know, but it's a big deal no matter what from a publicity perspective, and getting them to be like, hey, this is like the de facto standard for how we do patient access. And then I saw on the internet, I just want to call this out for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's funny because it's someone who's clearly. So Picnic Health, y'all, that is not like, they do not have a great brand. Like I rarely hear about them, whatever. It does seem like this person, Grace Young, might work for them in some way. Cause I was like, what? Yeah. And this, I call this out for a couple of reasons. One is it's just like, that's the perspective. Her perspective here. My feed today is full of circle jerk congratulatory posts regarding the ChatGPT health announcement. I've seen a couple posts from this person. Clearly, as you can see up top, I do not follow Grace. I think she like tagged me in a post a few years ago, or commented on a post I was tagged in for someone thanking me and several other people for convening healthcare events. and then said like, we're all a bunch of assholes. And I was like, I've literally never heard of you. Like, I don't know. So I think she just generally does inflammatory stuff on the internet, from what I can tell. The 2 posts I've seen. I saw this one because Kristen actually commented that like, hey, actually, maybe you're not totally, like, maybe you aren't totally understanding the specifics. So a couple things. One, I think it's interesting that someone thinks this is not a big deal. I think it actually is quite a big deal from a patient and consumer perspective. But I want to shout out Kristen, who went and like commented on a lot of people's posts to answer questions.
So she's
and
again, she's
she
very engaged.
Look how
she's
she
very
does it.
engaged.
This person, Grace, again, I've seen several comments. I know some friends who have gotten in like real big tiffs with her through various other platforms. Like clearly loves getting in a fight. And Kristen totally diffuses it to the point where she's like, yeah, I'd love to talk to you.
But and honestly, like you and I are like a little bit petty. I'm certainly very petty about this kind of stuff. I'd be like, yeah, but like Kristen genuinely like is very mission driven, and she's like, yes, like let's solve this, whatever it is. And let's talk about it. I will say about Picnic Health, many years ago, more than 10 years ago, I want to say I was a consultant for them for like a month or two, like a really long time ago. Grace, it looks like she's currently a consultant. I'm guessing she works with them directly. And, you know, guys, like and I don't know, maybe this isn't the case, so this is not an accusation. Allegedly, this is my thinking. Like, if you are a consultant and you work for somebody, the right thing to do is to declare that if you're making a statement like this. Really, I understand, like, that's just an ethical thing you need to do if you're representing somebody and you're making a statement that is like pitting something. On the other hand, like Picnic Health is an ant on the, you know, on the picnic potato salad of OpenAI. So like, it doesn't really matter. But Kristen's making a really important point here, right? Following treatment exchange paths for exchange, you know, it's just not going to unlock what we need to unlock. This is about individual access. It's very different. There's all kinds of barriers to scale. Like, okay, like listen, but again, if this is the case, and I'm not accusing you, I'm not trying to fight Grace, but like, if you are in fact representing Picnic, you should probably declare that if you're making a statement like this. And trust me on this as well, that Kristen and Be Well and her peers and other companies have also been doing this very unglamorous work for a long time to lead up to signing this deal with OpenAI. And then before that, Google. You don't just like, as a startup, just like randomly sign a deal with one of the biggest tech companies in the world. So trust me, she's also been doing the unglamorous work, and so have her peers.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Good for Kristen for demonstrating what we always talk about on the internet, which is finding common ground and reading through conflict.
That's right. She read your posts.
Yeah, well, maybe, or maybe she's just a
maybe
good
she just already did it.
It's unclear. It's unclear.
I don't know. Me. You should take credit for it. It's fine.
Well, I love taking credit for everything. Okay, so moving on. So Lisa, this was another big piece of news, but I think there's more to this than some of the early stories say, right? But like, apparently, the state of Utah is just like, yeah, go ahead, like do prescriptions for the AI. Not entirely. The headline is not necessarily the story, but tell us more.
Yeah, so this is a limited pilot, and it allows an AI system to do renewals of prescriptions. So it's not anything super complicated or new. It's just going to be to actually operate the renewal prescription. I don't know, man. You know, like here, like this is basically where we are right now, which is that we have a massive amount of like administrative burden and waste in healthcare generally, and a lot of that is in these processes that are like often paper-based and painful and like slowing everybody down. If this can be done safely, question mark, I appreciate, you know, these kind of guard walls, you know, things like this that could lower cost. We dramatically need to take cost out of the system. Is this one of those ways? Question mark again. Utah is doing a bunch of interesting stuff. At the same time, it's a very small state with a pretty homogenous population. That makes it easier to test and roll out stuff like this.
Yeah, I agree. I think everybody needs to remember that. I know a lot of people go from
3 million people.
States,
would you say
like
yesterday?
Nebraska, Iowa, Utah, Utah has 3 million people.
Cool.
In the state. I think Salt Lake Metro is well over half of that 3 million, right? This is a smaller population. Honestly, like according to stats that I Googled a few years ago, at least, like a pretty healthy population with a lot of community support. All these things don't necessarily translate to other states. But yeah, the key here is that, yes, this is sort of like an AI tool. It's only for patients that have approved chronic diseases.
Yeah.
They're only refills. You can't just go on and say, I would like some opioids. You can't, that's not like how it works.
Dear AI, give me some opioids for real. Don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, very controlled. Like, it's like, I don't know, we're not there yet, but like, I think it's still cool, and I'm excited to see what happens here and see if they save some money or whatever their good outcomes. I don't know, whatever. So cool stuff. Like everything's about AI right now.
Speaking of AI,
oh my God, friend of the show, Jesse Ehrenfeld, who was, when we interviewed him, the president of the AMA.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he just took a real jobby job with this. I think it's just pronounced AI doc. Or AI-Doc.
Me too.
AI-Doc?
I think it's AI-Doc, but yeah.
AI-Doc. He's the new...
Jesse had great hair. He's a great talker, very tall. President of AMA at the time, was on the show, I believe, live at, maybe it was Vive.
I think it was Vive.
My brain is kind of,
2 years ago.
Forgetting that part. Anyway, like even the former president of the American Medical Association is joining an AI clinical care company. So everyone just be aware.
Yeah, here we go. But yeah, good for Jesse. He seems smart and legit. So
he's smart, dude.
I feel like he wouldn't work for a dumb company. So while I've never heard of the AI doc, I'm hopeful for this company.
Well, it's actually different than what I was just saying. I was talking about, AI for back office and healthcare, which is where I personally have put, my attention, as of many others, including one of the people we think is the smartest operators of the financial elements of healthcare, Matt Holt. But this appears to be a clinical platform, which in my opinion is a bit riskier. But Jesse is in fact a real medical doctor and the former president of the AMA. So I imagine he has done his vetting.
Yeah, either they paid him $400 bazillion to take this job, or it's a good company. Probably the latter. Yeah. Okay, but speaking of AI,
bad AI.
Yep, someone died from taking advice from ChatGPT. I'm like, again, I didn't read through all this. I know there's always a lot of nuance about how this stuff happens. Like, I'm just surprised this user was able to get ChatGPT to tell them that.
Yeah, I mean, once again, this is just actually very similar to the other ones, where people, when individuals have long, extended chats and many chats and many hours and hours of conversation, it's very, very easy for any rudimentary safeguards to fail. And they seem to fail quite extensively for those people who are on the outer range of like usage and potential issues, whatever those are. And that's just unacceptable, right? Like, it's just unacceptable that that the system isn't designed for safety in this situation. I mean, if you read this, and only read it if you want to be real depressed about the state of the world and what's available to people and the mental health of teens and young people. So maybe don't read it. I did it for you. It's real bad. It's real bad, and it's stuff that's shared is unacceptable, and it's an unacceptable safety parameter from my perspective for a system.
Oh, look, we got another review on this AI doc. So it appears that it is, in fact, a good company. AI doc is an awesome company that helps with radiology scans. My good friend and colleague, Stacy Thand, I will not screw up your middle name by saying it, head of marketing. She would also only join a legit AI company. Good to know, Dave. Thanks for giving us the heads up. Cool. Nice. So, okay. So like the government did more things than get Maduro on the first try. And one of those things was in South Park fashion, flipped the food pyramid.
Yeah, dude. I mean, listen, I know you love this. I know when you saw this, you were like,
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
But also, I just want everyone who's listening or watching to be aware that Kat does not believe in cholesterol as a concept. So just when you're thinking of like her perspective, you just know she does not believe that cholesterol is a thing.
I'm also
that is in spite of her boyfriend being, in my opinion, a world famous cardiologist, and a population health hero on cardiology. So
he very much believes that I am wrong, and I am that I should be better. So
everyone, just be aware. Eat your oatmeal, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll say. Okay. So I obviously am super happy about this. This is how I eat. So I was pretty delighted to know that
it is actually how she eats, just to be totally clear.
you
Like
ate long
I have
enough,
experienced it. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
and even the alcohol recommendations are spot on. Thank you, Dr. Oz. Like I also drink. So feeling great about that. We got a little tweet from him, which I thought was well placed. But okay, so my mom, Linda, she is a big fan of the Maha movement, as some of you may know, including Lisa. I texted her this with like an F yeah, and she was like, "Who can afford steak?" And I was like, "What?"
That's right,
Linda. But I mean, that actually is one of the biggest criticisms I think of this. These are like, meat is expensive. Like grass-fed meat, which is what they want you to eat, is very expensive.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I'm gonna stick on the vegetable and French fry side. I don't know. I don't see the French fries on this food pyramid, but I'm looking and not seeing them. I assume it's under whole grains, so we're good.
Yeah,
It's fine.
It is
It's
curious
fine.
that I don't see a potato here, Lisa. But I
do see a potato. It's right there underneath next to the avocado. Avocado. I think that's a potato. Actually, I can't tell. Is that a potato?
Is it?
I'm gonna say it's a potato.
What? I think it is a potato. Yeah. Okay. So we're in the clear. Listen, as
we're
a
fine. We're fine.
proud Eastern child of Eastern European immigrants, I need potatoes in my life. Sorry, y'all.
I'm gonna eat that potato.
And then y'all, with the new website, it is realfood.gov, an official website of the United States government. So far I haven't found too much information in here that I find groundbreaking, but I will say, like, I am excited that this will impact, hopefully, according to what I've heard everywhere, food in schools, because my kids do buy school lunch every day. I know because they constantly are doing the auto refill from my credit card. And they eat total trash at school, right? The things that they're able to eat are just total trash. So I am hoping that there's something going on here that will help a lot of kids who
remember all those like Jamie Oliver things where he would like go into like the schools and like revamp their like school kitchens and help them like make food for cheap from scratch.
Yeah.
We should just do that. We should just keep doing that.
Great. Yeah. Oh, look, we got our man here.
Thank you. Thank you, Price.
Yeah. Well, also potatoes fried in beef tallow are delicious. Just saying. Okay. All right.
Tasty.
Moving on.
It's great.
And here's the funny tweet. There was, if you watch the video on this, where RFK received a question about, like, why didn't you change the alcohol guidelines? And Dr. Oz was like, just don't have it for breakfast.
That's right. Except for brunch, except for your mimosas at brunch.
Yeah. But his point was like, alcohol serves a purpose in our society as like a way to bring people together, blah, 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 blah. So whatever, I'm here for that. I like wine.
Yes.
Yeah. And then apparently, according to Somali operated financial crime gangs or something, they've been siphoning off billions of dollars in childcare funding in Minnesota. So HHS has stopped those payments while they investigate to Minnesota, as well as several other states. And I haven't looked into the other states. So, but you brought up a point, Lisa, on one of our many group chats that I guess it's not that many. It just feels like a lot because they are very active. That there are red states that do this too.
Yeah, this is not something that is just there's fraud in like every system in every single state totally differently. There's the only thing that's in common with these states is that they are, kind of famously run by Democrats. There's fraud everywhere. There's all kinds of fraud. However, those numbers, while frustrating to hear, are very, very small compared to the actual programs. And the idea that you would cut off funding for the absolute poorest people in our country for like very basic needs, like for like diapers for babies, that's bad. And it's going to result in some super big problems across different states. It's also likely not legal. So it's just going to be another big legal fight, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I get it. I understand. I think the situation in Minnesota is bad, but like, clearly this is not the way to resolve these issues. And these are not limited to Democratic run states.
Yeah. I do hope that, find the fraud. Like if someone's siphoning off billions of dollars, like
get rid of that.
They're not very good criminals, first of all. And second,
right.
Like check it out and get it, like just fix it instead of like, hopefully they don't just like stall this funding for a long, long, long time under the guise of investigations. Like they probably know where it's coming from already. So hopefully that gets cleared up. This was from when we were on break, but worth mentioning. CMS announced their $50 billion in awards to the applicants in the Rural Health Transformation Program, which is all 50 states. States received quite a bit of money. What I think is awesome and exciting, and it does look like we won't go into we don't have time for that. Call someone, or call Lisa, or call Brittany if you need to talk about this program. But what I thought was funny is then Alaska got $272 million. Alaska has less than 1 million residents. I understand why it received so much money. I'm freaking here for that. That's awesome. I think they actually received more than they applied for based on what I saw. I could be wrong on that, but they received more, it appears. Good for them. However, New Jersey is dead last, as you can see in this headline in Politico. And I think it was 100. Melissa, shout out New Jersey. What's up? Bringing up the rear. So I will say this article goes on to say that they got about 147 million, I think, which, is more than 100 million less than Alaska. However, they are one of the 4 densest states in America. That said, Rhode Island is essentially the Vatican City of America. It is a city-state. It received almost $10 million more than New Jersey. So I do feel like something is afoot. You're on mute, Melissa. You're trying to say something.
Yeah, we can hear you.
There's really it's so densely populated, and I don't really I'm just happy we got something, and we can go and
happy we got something.
In reality,
we got something.
It's a really super populated, very condensed. Everything is
everything's 20 minutes away, as you tell me.
Everything is 20 minutes away. I know you think that I'm kidding, but unless there's traffic, it's 20 minutes away.
That's like me telling everyone in Atlanta it takes me 30 minutes to get to the airport with no traffic, which never happens. Okay.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. Atlanta traffic.
Amazing.
All right, moving on. Okay, we're almost done. Then we're going to get to our real life special guest. Okay, so Lisa and I are going to JPM next week. We are not doing a live show there because, sadly, Lisa got this real job where she has to work and
the whole time.
I know.
The whole time.
But we'll be there doing stuff. And I just wanted to call out this. I wanted to use this picture for our JPM prompt because Jonathan Bush apparently is not going.
That's also so sad.
Our favorite CEO in healthcare IT. He says JPM without me feels wrong.
I agree,
Jonathan Bush. Hopefully you're back next year. And then finally, like Melissa said, we will take your money to come on the live talk show at Vive and HIMSS, but we didn't make a graphic for HIMSS yet. So
we need you to pay for our travel. That's really all that comes down to.
This shit is expensive. Also, we broke our microphone last time we used it, so we need to get a new one. Yeah, we need to get a new one.
We need a new
time is running short. We need a new one. We don't have any anymore. So anyway, okay. Lisa, anything else to say before we bring on our real legitimate guest who appears to be potentially getting ready for his appearance? Maybe. Yes, he is.
Yes. No, I mean, guys, listen, Scott Becker is a highly productive legend, and we are so excited to have him.
Oh my gosh. Scott, give us your intro and tell us about the 70 companies you run.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How many companies do you run?
Oh, you're on mute though. So tell us after that.
I'm going to unmute us. It's great. It's great. Well, I have to tell you, this is a great pleasure. I had a chance to listen in for the last half hour. That was the most fun half hour I've had all week. That was just fantastic. And I love the breadth of discussion from Maduro to AI Doc. I was able to message the CEO of AI Doc while we were on the call saying, oh my God, they're saying such nice things about the doctor from the AMA joining you folks and stuff like that. So I just loved the whole thing. So thank you so much.
Do you think the CEO of AI Doc will give us money to buy our microphones so that he can come on our show and tell us what AI Doc is all about?
I am sure would absolutely love to. He would love to. He'll be at JP Morgan next week, and I'm sure he would love to do that. And I'm sure you guys do so well. You're not in need of professional microphones, but we'll get them for you if you want them to. I will buy them for you. But you guys are fantastic.
Our audience is like, these fools can barely make one session go by without a technical difficulty.
It's actually I have not seen the show before, and I love it. So I'm thrilled to be here, and it's no, I think it's just fantastic, actually. So thank you.
Okay. Well, now you have to tell us all the things.
Sure. Tell me about myself. So me,
Yeah.
okay. So this will be put everybody to sleep. I actually loved your show so much that I invited a couple of my daughters to listen in. So they will be so mortified right now. So bear with me. So
Are they
but
right there?
yes.
Are they like watching you across the?
No, they're dialed in through LinkedIn someplace, but they will be mortified by this entire thing. They weren't mortified by you folks, they'll be mortified by me. But no, so Scott Becker, I am the founder of a company called Becker's Healthcare, which in healthcare, we cover hospitals and health systems, health IT, originally started 100 years ago in surgery centers and orthopedics and spine. The by far the largest part of the company today, and we have websites, events, digital. The largest part of the company today is hospitals and health systems, and then health IT. When we try and be essentially a convener, basically for all practical purposes, we've got 30, 35 full-time journalists. We cover healthcare very closely. We try and cover the business of healthcare. We a long time ago decided we couldn't be experts in clinical, so we cover more of the business and what's going on in healthcare. What are the big trends? We're largely what we think of as short form journalism. When I started this 30 years ago, I used to write long strategy pieces and research pieces. And what I found is no one would read them, no one was really interested in them. And we moved over the years to what we think of as short form journalism. We can get a quick sense of what's going on in the healthcare business, what's going on in the technology world, whatever you're following in healthcare. We try and make sure that we try and use this concept of being a magnet for listeners, a magnet for readers, a magnet for attendees. And we try and make sure that we've got great audiences and that it's worthwhile for audiences to come out to our events, whatever our podcast and our our journalism. People are writing, and our team we've got a great team of both leaders at the company and journalistic leaders at the company, and we love it, and it keeps us gives me a chance to visit with people like you that I wouldn't otherwise get the chance to visit with, and it's literally just fantastic and a pleasure. So that's the sort of core background. I mean,
Listen, you can keep gassing us up, Scott. It'll get you everywhere. We're ready. Yes, keep going.
Well, no, it's no blowing smoke. We're big fans and we love the energy. It's almost it's not quite intimidating that I've already lost Lisa. Lisa's already sick of me.
Yeah,
But no,
she's
it's
like,
No,
actually
I'm
"Hey,
here.
it's
I'm
stop
here.
that."
I'm just
My
kidding. I'm kidding.
headphones
I'm
are
kidding.
about to run out, and I feel like
It's
I'm going to be without sound, so I have to change
She's got
really
plugged
fast.
in.
no, it's
I know.
it's
I know.
um it's tremendous energy, and we spend
Sorry.
right. I spent a ton of time in the healthcare sector. I was a lawyer by background and started Becker's Healthcare sort of as a very short newsletter to clients 30 plus years ago. And at some point got serious about Becker's Healthcare as a company versus as a newsletter to what were essentially clients about what's going on and trends we're watching in healthcare. And then about 20 plus years ago, started hiring people full time in the business. One of the people I hired was a woman who turned out to be my CEO and partner, Jessica Cole. She was probably a huge part of the ultimate growth of the company. And we're a big believer in everything you do. That we're not a believer in the solopreneur concept. We're a believer in teams. That everything is built around teams. Do you want to do anything serious? You do it with teams. And so both at the law firm and then at Becker's Healthcare, built a great team. Jeff leaves up the entire team, but we've got a lot of people now that have been with us for 10, 20 years plus that are just magnificent. And we talk a lot about in our discussions the evolution of a founder from sort of the solopreneur to building teams where everybody on the team can do things better than the founder could originally. And that's when you have a real company, is when you get to the spot where you're not just leveraging yourself, but now people are self-operating and driving things forward because you've got great people. With Jess is a fantastic CEO. I could never go back and do her job anywhere nearly as well as she does it. We have a great editor in chief. Again, I couldn't do those jobs how well they do them. And that's not false humility. That's just true. And that's the evolution of a founder, to end up filling out teams with leaders that are better all the things that they do than you could ever be. And that's when companies can accelerate and grow. And that's how we sort of view business and a lot of things, not just business, but a lot of things in life. So it's all about teams and the right talent, the right people, and putting them in the right place.
So Becker's Healthcare started as a client newsletter for your law clients.
It started, yes, about 30 plus years ago. I was trying to build a legal practice. in the healthcare area. And so I started really a very short client letter that went out to some people. We talk a lot about this
That's like
concept that whenever you
early content marketing. That's cool.
no, Kat, and you're exactly right. It's what you'd call today thought leadership. At the time, they didn't have a term for that, literally, and it's so a little embarrassing to age myself. But there wasn't really a term for thought leadership. But you're trying to position yourself as a leader and expert in the healthcare field. Particularly when I started, it was in a couple areas, but one of them was surgery centers. And we're a big believer in two concepts: that as you get started in anything, you're periodically going to get punched in the face. And you're periodically going to have naysayers. And so bear with me on this for a second. So when I first got going, I would send the newsletter out to a few hundred people. And I remember a doctor friend of mine, not a close one, but somebody who went to college with me, saying, I use your newsletter for toilet paper. And you every time you get punched in the face, every time somebody says something to you like that, you have to decide, are you then moving forward or are you folding your tent? And again, we chose to move forward. But those kinds of things are always they're very meaningful, both because either words of encouragement are hyper meaningful, whatever you're doing, whatever stage of your life you're in, words of encouragement are hyper meaningful. And the words of discouragement are also meaningful because you have to make choices. Are you adjusting? Are you pivoting? Are you pushing forward? So everything has a starting story like that. And most things that we do have a starting story like that. The other thing that I'm a huge believer in is this phrase we use: don't listen to the naysayers. And so anything that you do, there's like people probably said to you when you started this, don't start a health tech talk show. Who's going to listen to it? There's a million things out there,
Yeah,
and your
Lisa
show
said
is
that.
yeah. There you go, there you go. And this show is fantastic. And when I got started in this, somebody said, there's huge competition. Don't start a healthcare magazine. Don't start a healthcare company, media company. And of course, I had to listen to that. And then, of course, you for a day or so, you think, and I remember it vividly. I remember the meeting vividly, thinking, "Oh my God, maybe I'm on the wrong track." And then, of course, the next day I said, "Okay, whatever. We'll get going. We'll get started, and we'll drive forward." And we did so. But I'm a huge believer that once you get into something, you're going to get punched in the face. And that usually means that you're actually in the game. So, like when you guys get criticism from somebody about your show, or somebody says, I can't believe they said this, or you were talking about that early in your show, you have to take that as like, oh, that means you're actually resonating. You're actually touching people, that somebody's actually commenting on it. And we had plenty of those experiences where competitors would say, oh my God, he's so bad at this, or they're so bad at this or that, or whatever it is. And you have to sort of take that as, okay, at least we're meaningful enough now to get punched in the face. So we count. And I'm a huge and I'm also a huge believer in this concept of don't listen to the naysayers. Anything you do, there's going to be people that say you shouldn't be doing that, or you're not, or you're, who do you think you are? And trying to build a law practice, trying to be a media company, have faced all of those things, and I'm just I think they're huge lessons, and it happens throughout your career. It happens now. Somebody says, oh my God, you're trying too hard to do this. It's like being a student trying too hard and people criticizing. You're like, well, I'm trying to learn how to do this. Is what I'm trying to do. And it's a constant evolution for most of us.
Yeah. So Scott, I feel like you just gave us free business therapy, which I am here for. Yeah. We get good criticism and bad criticism often. And luckily for me and Lisa, I was born with incredible overconfidence. So here we are. But so you've not only done this Becker's healthcare thing, you also, so tell me, there's more to it, right? You have a private equity
Sure.
thing and you just wrote a book. Like
Yeah.
what is going on?
Sure. No, so we do a bunch of different things. So I would say that over the course of my career, the first core thing was with our team at McGuire Woods, building the healthcare legal practice. Built a great healthcare practice in a large firm that was just fascinating. Great colleagues, great clients. As I sort of evolved from there, started to build the media company, the Becker's Healthcare, and had great teammates with that. Jessica Cole being the primary one who leads the company today. She's been with me 20 years. Started with me out of college, literally, and just when I started it, and I'll get to your question. I'm so sorry, but when I
Oh, keep
started
going.
it, I had hired 8 to 10 full-time people. I was a young lawyer running a legal practice. This was being done on the side, and it was just like I was straddling both things, and it was enormously stressful and a lot of things going on. And Jess joined me in her early 20s and was outperforming the 8 to 10 other people that had joined me. And I didn't know what to do. And I basically, at some point when Jess was about 26, 27, put her in charge of all of them. And what was fascinating was the other 8 to 10, half of them were just aghast. Or how could you put this young person in charge? But Jess had been working with me for a few years by that point and worked with me when she was in college and was outperforming everybody. And so we ended up putting her in charge of everybody. And then what happened over the last 20, 30 years is I've built out a lot of the content side. She's built out a lot of the commercialization side, and we've been able to grow a really nice media company where we get to talk to and visit with lots of people and stay in front of lots of people, and it's gone great. The lesson there is when you find great people, you double down on them. If there's a lesson,
Mm.
that's that. So in terms of what I do today, I'm still very involved in the law firm, still very involved with Becker's Healthcare. Several years ago, I started a newsletter that's really around business, that covers business topics. And it was really, as much as anything, not to really start another media company, but I'd learned over the last 20, 30 years a million things about business and about healthcare, and wanted to sort of regrow myself, grow myself further as someone who was studying what's going on in business, what's going on in the investment environment, in the investment world, and stuff like that. And that's been like a great, I love doing that. So I've got a business podcast to go with our Becker's Healthcare podcast. I've got a business newsletter that comes out a couple times a week. Um, Several years ago, I wrote a first book called Blocking and Tackling, and the book came out. And I'm going to get to the book subject right now. So the book came out, and the first version of the book was so bad that I had to sort of table it. And I still have some in the closet here, but I couldn't send it out to people and say that this reflects my business thinking, that this reflects this, because it was not so much that the content was okay. The packaging was poor. It was completely self-published, and it just really wasn't very good. So I had to pull that book. I went back about a year later, wrote a second book called The Entrepreneur's Edge, which is, again, a bunch of lessons around business and investing. And part of the reason for writing the book was not, I don't have a great clarity as here's what I'm trying to do with all this. It was more, I was trying to put a lot of my business thoughts I've collected and investment thoughts in one place, partly for my kids, partly for others. And one of my favorite moments ever, and of course my kids would never read it, but it is what it is. But one of my kids' daughter's friends was over one day and asked me a question about investing in their 20s. You know, she's 20 something young woman. My daughter, one of the daughters, had several friends over last summer before they were going back to doing what they were doing. And so, and a lot of them live in New York now, at least now where Melissa lives. But one of the friends asked me a question, and I was able to say, "Oh, I've got a chapter on that. Let me give you the book." And of course, my daughter was probably aghast, but I was so thrilled that her friend Cammy actually had a question about something that I was actually had written about for a purpose to have all my thoughts in one place. So that was the second book. The second book, and I'll get to the book that's coming out now. The second book was much better than the first book. It's what I would call a B- book, C+ book. It's not, these are not like Peter Drucker. This is not James Patterson. Nobody's going to read these books and be like, "Oh my God, this has changed my life." I don't think, but if they do, I'd be shocked. But the second book was better. After I did it, I went back to the drawing board and got some professional advice. I had I had two people, a professional editor. I had read it and said, "Look, I like it, but here's what you missed. Here's what you didn't do right. Here's why you should have written this." And so last summer, after getting that advice and the advice from one of my closest friends, said something similar. Like, he was nice enough to read the whole thing and say, like, "I like it, but you miss sort of weaving in the real story behind everything with the book. Like, the book has lots of platitudes and ideas on business, but it'd be much healthier if you told a story as part of it." So I went back last summer, spent 3 months completely rewriting it, and that's the book that's coming out now. And the book that's coming out now, and again, these are all, I'm an incrementalist. I'm an incremental grower and thinker. So it's not like you look at this is much better than the first two. I don't know anybody's. We're getting nice reviews on the people that have read advanced reader copies, but this is not going to be like the best book of all time. But I think it's going to be hugely improved. And my goal is it will provide some people some inspiration, some enthusiasm, some excitement that that we really view our conferences is people could learn at our conferences, but the most important thing people do at our conferences is go back to work on Monday and Tuesday just a little bit more enthused. So,
Mhm.
for example, you and I might learn something in the show, but the most important thing that could come out of the show is going into the weekend a little bit uplifted, a little bit more positive, a little bit more enthused about what we're doing. And that's sort of how I view the book. The book's very readable. I, I'll give you the title. I'll make an offer to your listeners, but shoot me, stop me, Kat, Lisa, whenever you're ready to.
We don't have any rules.
Oh, God bless you. So the name of the book is Building Great Businesses, Create Momentum, overcome setbacks and scale with confidence. It's building great businesses, create momentum, overcome setbacks, scale with confidence. And if a reader wants to go on and pre-order, the whole game in trying to grow books is getting pre-orders of the hardcover. So if somebody wants to go on and pre-order the book on hardcover, I don't know how many people are listening, Kat and Lisa, so bear with me.
Probably like 1 million.
Million. Okay. So the first 50 that text me, we will send you an Amazon gift card that will cover the cost of the book. You buy the book, we'll send you an Amazon gift card to cover the book. So
Oh my gosh.
the book's
This
about
is like
22
our
bucks.
first live deal for our
Yeah,
audience.
no, this is the live deal. This is the live deal.
Oh my
And so
God.
and how we do this is I'll give you my text number. Anybody wants my text number, you go on Amazon, you buy the book, you send me the picture that you bought it. You'll get it. It won't come till June 23rd. Oh my God. Thank you so much for putting up the actual
This is
the
New
link
Jersey.
there.
Melissa's
God
coming in hot
bless you.
here.
That's fantastic, Melissa.
Yep.
But if you do so, I'm going to give you the text number too. My text number,
Oh my God.
773-766-5322. It literally anybody of the first 50, you go on, you pre-order it. If there's 51, of course, we'll still honor it as well. If there's 55, we'll still honor it. But but that's the concept. We love you to pre-order the book. It's all part of, I've gotten an education in book distribution and book selling. And so this is part of my education, but we would love you to do so.
Okay, loyal fans, do not embarrass us. Someone text Scott and get a deal.
Please. Even if the two daughters that are on do so, 773-766-5322. But the two daughters that listened in, because I just loved your show, I asked them to join in and listen, and they love your enthusiasm, and you're inspiring to them, I hope, is that you two can do this too, but you'll probably do it through our own Amazon account, so you don't get reimbursed. But anybody else that does so, 773-766-5322. We will, if you show me you bought the book, I will send you a $25 Amazon gift card, and so thankful for you doing so.
Look at Melissa's like,
I gotta ask. I'm about to put your phone number up, and I don't know if you want me to do that. So before I do,
you know what I think we should do? I think we should
do that.
We'll cut the clip, and they'll have to listen to it. I don't think we should put
I'm
it
not
on
gonna put his number up. So, but there's lots of crazies out there, Scott. Just
No,
you.
Melissa,
really
we're
need a
used
crazy.
to it. We're used to it. You're free to put the number up, so it's easy for your listeners to just do it. You're absolutely free to. Don't worry about it. It's hardly ever when I do this where it becomes so overwhelming that it becomes a problem. And if it does,
You've
it's a
never been on the
win,
Health
and
Tech
life
Talk
goes
Show.
on.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll give it a try. Melissa, whatever you think, but you're free to put it up.
I'm
Okay.
gonna hold off on that. We can
Yeah,
clip it and we'll put.
Okay.
We'll clip it.
We'll get, and we can. How about we order it and like mark, like we can like do an email blast or something and like HTTS, and then they get the $25. Like,
Just text
Whatever
it. That's
works.
too complicated. We don't know how to do
Yes.
that, Melissa. We don't know how to do that. Also, I already pre-ordered my book, so I don't qualify. So whatever. Anyways,
I'm happy to see you get there too. I am so thankful for you having me on. So send you whatever you want, microphones, gift cards, whatever you want. So thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, you can send us some microphones. That won't make anyone mad. Okay. Hey, listen, Scott, while we have you. Okay. So everybody buys book. Question for you, because you're still obviously super involved in the content of the industry, what's going on, whatever. You're running these huge conferences. I see you have like huge speakers at them and all that. So you know what's going on. Like, what concerns you most about our industry moving forward?
Sure. The thing that concerns me the very most, and the thing that's incredibly beautiful about healthcare, is that we're all consumers. Every single one of us is a consumer. So no one could talk to you obliquely or abstractly about what it's like to be a consumer. So when I look at healthcare, what concerns me the most is the supply and demand equation of the increasing shortage of physicians, specialists, nurses, doctors to take care of us. So as all of us know somebody that's had a cancer diagnosis. The ability to find the right oncologist at the right time for specialty problems is increasingly challenging. We all know healthcare is broken into multiple tiers. It was always multi-tiered. It was always people that had commercial insurance versus people that don't, people that were on Medicaid, people that are on indigent, people that are on Medicare. There was always an unfair system. It was always sort of an incredibly challenging with health equity. This is getting incredibly worse. That tier system is breaking down into multiple tiers. On one side of the tier, you have concierge everything, And that's not a knock on the doctors. I don't blame the doctors at all. I don't blame them one bit. But primary care is already moving towards concierge. Last week, I heard a cardiology practice move towards concierge. If you want to be in a cardiology practice, a dermatology practice near us added an administrative fee if you want to be a patient. And this is what this does is it breaks down healthcare into more tiers. And I don't think you should outlaw the concierge nature of what's going on is a symptom of our shortage and supply and demand problem. It's not like it's not, I'm a free enterprise person. I'm fine with those doctors doing that. There's only 1,100,000 doctors for 345 million people in our country. It's a disaster. And we all know if you have a serious diagnosis, you have to know somebody to get to the right person. And think about that. That's hard enough for those of us with means. It's brutal for those without means to get to the right person, right doctor. So our access problem is moving horribly in the wrong direction. It's a symptom of supply and demand. We don't have nearly enough doctors or nurses. Nurses. We've done an incredible job the last few years of reinventing a little bit how we train nurses. So it may be imperfect, but we're turning out almost 185,000 nurses a year again, which is a magnificent development. It's incredible what's happened over the last few years from a point in which we lost 1 million nurses during COVID. We've started to again turn out 185,000 nurses a year. It's amazing how quickly that has started to move in the right direction. It's not perfect, but it's 1 million times better than it was. The doctor side is a disaster. We developed great doctors, but we have a medical education system that was developed literally prior to the internet. So it takes a doctor now 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 3 to 4 years of residency, then often a year or two of fellowship. So doctors aren't even out practicing until 30, 32. And they're using an education system that was developed prior to the internet. And then many are part-time by 40, 45. So our number of doctors compared to our number of population is a disaster. And all the people that say, well, we'll solve it through prevention, we'll solve it through technology. My belief, it's both. You need technology, prevention, and people and doctors. The countries that went hardcore into just prevention got crushed. And so because they don't have enough doctors and nurses. So it's you look the largest, and this is not an easy challenge. We're the third largest country in the world. So it's not an easy challenge, but the countries that were totally had to go focus entirely on prevention got crushed because there's just not enough doctors and nurses when prevention doesn't work. The prevention's great. I'm all on board, but it's trust plus verify. Technology, prevention, and enough doctors, and we got to fix the doctor shortage issue. And we're already so far behind on it, and it's not politically fun to talk about. So politicians talk about coverage for all. They talk about free market. They don't talk about anything that matters. And again, I mean, they just, and the left and the right, it's not a knock on either side. They're both so useless, so not helpful in terms of actually solving problems that we need to solve. And the problems are clear. And the problems are not. It's not that complicated. We need more doctors. I mean, it's. You talk about the rural health bill again. The talking points in it are great. The 50 billion is great. Will it actually lead to having enough doctors and nurses in rural communities? No. Right now, we're seeing a situation where we've got labor and delivery being closed down in lots of different places. Labor and delivery being closed down in rural communities is a disaster. It's a death knell for those communities. And it's not the fault of the hospitals. They don't have enough doctors and nurses. They just can't do it. They can't have labor and delivery if they don't have obstetrics and gynecologists. But it's so I look at all this money that flows through the system, and so much of it is spent in ridiculous ways. To Lisa's point earlier, there's fraud in every state. It's not a red or blue problem. It's just there's fraud every place. Not even a question. But the amount of money that flows through from the government to the insurance companies is a debacle. We need more of that flowing through to residency programs, to creating more doctors, creating more nurses, and so forth. I mean, you see it now. The best systems in the country have this very thin layer. They look like they got depth in certain areas. I mean, it's the beauty of the Mayos and the Cleveland Clinics that still have this tremendous depth. That's why they're still so great. Most of the great centers that you talk with, the great hospitals you talk to, once you get past the top 3 or 4 oncologists, top 3 or 4 this, top 3 or 4 this, their bench is very short. And you get into specialty cancers, there's one person, there's 2 people, and those people are exhausted. They're not, it's not like, and we need more of them. So that's sort of when I look at the one thing that I really think is a disaster is this access issue coupled with the supply demand issue. We talk about quality, cost, access. We're at a point in our lifetimes that all three seem to be going in the wrong direction. and it's going to get worse before it gets better. And the cost problem is somewhat a manufactured problem. It's an unpopular talking point, but we'll have another discussion on it at some other point.
Yeah, it's true. We're all focused on technology, AI, and prevention these days, but we still don't have doctors. So, yeah.
Yes, and the technology prevention AI is all really important, but it's got to be coupled with enough people to take care of us. That's where I come back to. We're all consumers of healthcare. So when you have to get access to, especially make an appointment, I went to get my primary care visit rescheduled. The next visit they had was about a year out, literally. When I had to reschedule it, and of course I know the doctor, so I was able to move it. But not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that. But that was just a symptomatic, and similar with getting a colonoscopy or doing whatever you're doing. You go into hospital, if you're overnight in a hospital, you either feel very safe and comfortable if there's enough people on that floor, or there's not. And the beauty of healthcare is we all see this. It's not like when people say, "Oh, you shouldn't have gone to the emergency room for that." Well, we took the daughter to the emergency room because we couldn't get into urgent care. We couldn't get into a doctor, so we went to the emergency room. The emergency room wait was 3 hours. But it's not the fault of the consumer. It's not that we're not well trained. It's that we're going to the easiest place possible to get the access that we need, and it's a mounting problem.
Oh, Lisa, I think we can't hear you. Well, Lisa,
you might be on mute, or you're.
Yeah, like there's always something that goes wrong, Scott. So this is it. It could be worse. And fortunately for us, it's 4:00. So our show is actually over. So everybody, we're going to be posting a little clip of Scott's offer so that we are not putting his phone number on the internet in text format. And pre-order his book. He's probably going to throw a party that we're all invited to for the launch. I don't know.
Whatever we do, you'll all be invited to. But what a pleasure to visit with the three of you. Thank you so much for having me on. It was inspiring. I was so inspired that literally watching us talk for the first half hour, I truly did ask the two of the daughters that are here to listen in. So I hope that they did so.
Well, I hope so too. So so you can come back anytime, especially if you're going to give all of our loyal fans Amazon gift cards. We're here for it.
God bless you.
All right. Well, have a great weekend, Scott. It was a pleasure. You are like one of our heroes. So thank you for coming on the show. Thanks for telling us we're awesome. And everybody have a great weekend. And remember what Dr. Oz said, no booze for breakfast.
He said, get your head.
Exactly. That's my
brunch
aha
only.
moment.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, folks.